Welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is a potentially controversial one, and like all good arguments, there's more than one way to look at things. So, to explain it best, I've headed out to Cannock Chase for a solo ride.
Okay, let's get this solo mission underway. Follow the dog.
Riding solo is not a new thing. Many people head out for a solo ride at their local, and it's a great way to unwind after a hard day's work, to improve your fitness, or just for a bit of fun in the outdoors. But recently, riding solo's come under fire, being labelled by some as irresponsible, dangerous, or even detrimental to mountain biking. So that's what I want to explore today. It will come as no surprise that historically, quite a bit of my riding has been done solo. If you're short on time and just nipping out for a quick blast on the trails, heading out by yourself is a great option. Unlike sports like football, hockey, or even things like rock climbing, mountain biking can be done without having to rely on a team or partner. It's a great way to explore trails and features in your own time at your own pace. And riding solo has other great benefits too.
So of course for me, one of the main benefits of riding solo is the headspace. You know, it's the time to yourself. On days like today when I'm just cruising around and taking it easy, I've got no real time commitments, and that means my mind can just wander. And honestly, it's where I do some of my best thinking and come up with some of my best ideas, just when I'm cruising around trails on my own. So for me, having that time to yourself is really, really important. So hopefully you'll see what I mean about getting a bit of headspace. It's silent, there's absolutely no one out here, and it's lovely, it's so nice and quiet. Awesome, let's crack on. Of course, in this day and age, especially in my life, it's spent in front of screens, whether that's at work or at home. There's a lot of screen time, so being out here, you can't do that. And like I said, your mind can just really wander, which we need a bit more of in our lives. So yeah, for me, riding solo is great for getting that mental space.
That's right, getting out and riding by yourself is great for the good old mental health, no doubt about it. Okay, so riding solo can be good for you, but there may be a few downsides to riding on your own.
So one of the negatives about solo riding is it can be a bit lonely sometimes.
It has to be said, riding with other people is great fun. There's nothing better than shredding some trails with a group of mates and all having a great time on the bike. Riding with other people can expose you to new trails, features and new riding locations. Heading out with other people is also a great way to improve your riding and your skills. Not to mention, they can give you that extra confidence and spur you on to ride that feature that you probably wouldn't ride if you were by yourself. Which brings me to the main argument against solo riding: safety.
So of course, one of the main negatives about riding solo is going to be the safety aspect, and that is very much going to depend on your skill level, where you're riding and what you're riding as well, so the difficulty of the features.
We all know that accidents can and do happen in mountain biking, and when they do, there's nothing worse than realising that you're on your own in the middle of nowhere, with no idea how to get back to the car. This could end up costing you big time, and I'm not talking about money. At least if you're riding with others, they can help sort you out and get you to safety, or at least they can check your bike's okay. So, as I mentioned, I love solo riding every now and then, but perhaps there are things we can do to minimise the risk while we're alone. Of course, there are obvious things like telling people where you're going or turning on the Friend Finder app on your smartwatch or your phone. Also, apps like What 3 Words could literally be the difference between life and death if something was to happen, especially if you're riding some off-piste trail in the middle of nowhere. With that in mind, perhaps don't ride in the middle of nowhere. Why not stick to a well-known route or trail centre? But to be honest, even these can be pretty quiet.
So this is a really good example. I'm riding here in Cannock Chase on a well-used red trail, and there's absolutely nobody about. I can't hear anyone else. So if I was to have an accident, how long would it be until someone found me?
It's also worth noting that safety extends to your belongings and where you park too. Perhaps pick a car park with a few cars in it, rather than just leaving it on the dodgy side of a road somewhere. One of the main safety points is using common sense to think about the features you're riding. Perhaps don't try that new drop, jump or sketchy trail. Why not stick to something a bit less committing with less chance of injury? Now, it's worth saying that accidents can happen anywhere, and statistically, more accidents happen on blue trails than any other grade. So no matter what your experience level or how good your kit is, silly mistakes can and do happen anywhere. on the most surprising of features. We have documented this on the channel more than once. So I don't agree with the point of view that solo riding should be banned, not that a ban like that could ever be enforced anyway, but I also don't think it deserves the bad press it's been getting recently, because it can be done safely. I'd also like to highlight the hypocritical nature of this video, because much of the footage that I've shown is me solo riding on things that perhaps I shouldn't have been riding alone. Like this. This. Or even this. But at least it's good to be aware of the risks and understand ways we can minimise them. So why not drop your thoughts on solo riding down in the comments? It would be great to hear your perspective. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Okay.